Welcome.
Welcome.
Housewives of True Crime.
Housewives of True Crime.
Monday, July something, 2023. We
Mhm.
talk about crime and stuff that's happened over the weekend, or it hasn't even become the weekend, actually. So
It was a long weekend. This was the 4th of July.
yeah.
I take my dog to the vet this morning. I came home after and took a shower, but I got her there for her appointment
Yeah.
at 8 a.m. and I was looking rough.
Fresh. Oh.
Then I dropped my kids off at camp and I was like, happy 5th of July. And the camp counselors concurred.
Oh, good. And the dog's
It's
on
like
the
Super
mend.
Bowl Monday.
Some people that follow us on Facebook, because I didn't talk about Kyla here, but I think Kyla's on the mend, which is my daughter, and Scout is still in question, the dog.
Scout is still
the dog.
questionable. Yes, she's doing another round of IV fluids tomorrow.
It's got to be a pretty penny to do that. Is it not like the $99 one that you can call for humans? Kind of.
I know.
Hangover cure.
Does that make me the biggest asshole that I think that too?
No, it's true.
No.
They're doing the same thing.
Everything is more expensive for the
I know.
dog than it is. I mean, everything. Every antibiotic, everything. Even
so
if you're
true.
a cash patient is, yes.
I know.
She's a pretty dog and she is costing me a pretty penny.
It's kind of like when you
Anyways.
live in a nicer area, your stuff goes up. When your gardener comes or the guy that needs to paint your roof or whatever, it's like, oh, it's this price for you because you got a little extra tax.
Oh, you think that's what it is? You think I'm getting,
Yeah, you have a
she's so
bougie
cute.
dog.
They think she's fancy.
It's not just
Oh.
cute. She's a bougie dog. You paid a penny for
She
her.
doesn't have papers. I'm not that bougie. Okay.
Yeah, but they don't know that.
I didn't get one of them AKC dogs. No. Okay. Well, anyways, I wanted to tell you about my 4th of July tab.
Okay, tell me, please. You were really excited. Okay, so
lovely.
you had the committee. If you listened on Patreon this last Thursday.
Joined. Yes, you will
He
know
was-
that I am part of the 4th of July committee. It is
Right.
very legit and important. We take it very seriously while we
Mhm.
drink Trulies at the park.
Right.
Okay. Anywho, I think I've been fired. We had a couple fails. One was I was in charge of cookie decorating and we ran out of sprinkles. So I think maybe that was a problem. The main problem, I would say, was the mimosa bar. First of all, I had to regulate on some bitches that do not know how to make mimosas. They think it's half orange juice.
No, you might as well just forego the champagne if it's going to be all orange juice. You know what I mean? It's like,
That's right.
what's the point?
That's right.
The point is you just need it to look orange-ish. Not even
That's
orange,
right.
like tangerine color.
That's right. So I started playing bartender. And while I was up there, kids were asking me for orange juice because another failure of the committee was we did not provide any children's beverages.
Oh my God. This is why you should not drink Trulies while you are planning this thing.
We didn't think that through. Mhm.
Yeah.
Also, another failure was I contributed my French toast casserole to the neighborhood breakfast potluck. It was supposed to be red, white, and blue because I do the macerated strawberries with fresh
Ooh,
whipped
yeah.
cream and
And
blueberries.
Yes.
My kids ate all the damn blueberries. So
Oh,
just looked like I
before?
brought something French to 4th of July. I got
That's
some
funny.
shit about that from some
Oh, you
neighbors who
did,
pointed
yeah.
it out to me.
Yeah.
I said I was going to counteract the French part with the red, white, and blue patrioticness.
Well,
The
the
kids
French
blew that
did
for
give
me.
us the Statue of Liberty. That means
Oh my
anything,
God,
too.
where were you when I needed to come back? Hello.
I think we could give them a little something.
Anyways, I digress. There were a couple other failures with the committee, and I think we have disbanded. Unfortunately, that's how it went. At the end of the night, my kids, who I have said I am the one who makes the effort to see the fireworks every year, and no one cares but me, and they all seem like they have some hostility about me keeping in the car and traffic and all of that such.
Yeah.
When it got dark, my kids started crying.
Because they weren't
It's
going to
not
see the
4th of July.
fireworks.
It's not 4th of July if we don't see fireworks.
Yeah. Dude, you should have came to Texas. You guys, she was supposed to come to Texas.
Oh my
and then
God.
she
Okay,
didn't
well,
because it was
thank
supposed to be
God
hot as balls. But it wasn't hot as balls.
We could see some from the front porch of my friend's house. And so it was not like the
Like
best
way
view,
out there.
but I was like, there you go, kids.
Oh,
there they
gosh.
are,
Okay.
right there.
Next year, coming to
Next
Texas.
year I'm coming. Listen, I told my Texas next summer we're going to Texas and Dollywood. I need to do that lazy river. And I feel like it's like we can do it all in the same week.
Yeah, you can. Yeah.
He's not that excited about it. I don't know why.
I don't know. All right, let's get into crime that doesn't include, it actually has a little bit to do with 4th of July, ironically enough.
So thoughtful.
And it is a listener suggestion by,
Excellent.
Let me tell you right now, because I do not want to forget, Miranda Gaelic. I think that's how you say your last name.
Thanks, Miranda.
Yes, she
Good
is.
Good job, Tabby.
I could see her picture on my email, and she is a disco biscuit. Okay. Oh, I just got a text message. My friend just got back from Mexico. She went to Tulum. The water there is not good, you guys. So just
No, I know. I hear the seaweed is a bitch.
No, that's in Florida, I think. No, I mean, no, the water.
No, in Tulum. No.
Oh, no way. Like what? It's like too much seaweed?
The ocean water. I hear they have that seaweed blooms everywhere. It's not sexy.
Oh, no, I don't even know about that. I think
stinks up the beaches. Ask her about it.
Okay, well, she like drank the water or something.
Oh, so she's got it. She's butt sick. Yeah, so's my husband.
Did they both go to Mexico?
I don't know where you went.
PSA, if you all are going to Tulum or Cancun or somewhere.
Yeah, it's Montezuma's Revenge. It's a thing.
It is totally a thing.
Yeah, people know about it, actually. Okay, so crime.
Okay, so this case takes place in the great state of Ohio. You know my joke, Gretchen?
Ohio.
You guys know my joke. If you've listened,
tired, so I don't know yet.
I could tell you're tired, by the way.
I know you have one. I know you have one.
I do, but I'm not going to say it because all the people that have listened to us long enough, they know it. And if you don't know it, then you can go back to some episodes and you'll know it. I'm going to leave you guessing.
You're so mean. You're so mean. Don't talk about them.
Okay. Marysville, Ohio.
Or just Google corny Ohio jokes.
Totally.
Okay.
Okay. So Marysville, Ohio. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. I have not. The population is 26,000. So it's pretty damn small, if I would say so myself. And it's pretty pricey. Like the houses that I was looking at, 3,700 square feet, which is pretty decent size house for over $500,000, dude, like $600,000.
Oh, man. Not that is.
Don't you think that's pricey? I know. But then I started looking at that's what I think. But then I started just looking at prices of houses in general. And dude, it's expensive out there. Everything's gone up. Even Trader Joe's, dude. Yeah. So in Marysville, Ohio, there is a Honda plant that employs 4,200 people, which seems like almost half the city. And one of these employees back in 2000.
That might be not exactly good math.
It is definitely not good math, you guys.
Okay. I might be tired, but I know 4,200 goes into whatever 29,000 more than twice.
Okay, 1/6 of the population. Are we good with that? I think it's about 1/6 of the population. Yes. 26,400.
Just a whole lot of Marysville people.
Yes, a lot of people are employed there. 4,200 people. And in 2001, there was a woman named Patti Adkins that worked at Honda. Patti was a 29-year-old disco biscuit, like super disco biscuit. Okay, 5'8", 120 pounds, blondish brown, kind of wavy hair. She had it going on. She also was a shift supervisor. She'd worked there since she was 19 years old. And she worked that afternoon night shift, which I think is like nurses do that stuff. And it's a hard shift, I think. Get off at midnight.
I hate the night shift.
I know. I mean, we used to do it. We waited tables. We would get off at midnight all the time.
I know. My favorite thing was always breakfast. I mean, I just never made as much money.
I know. I mean,
the day shift, so I always had to do nights, but that's where I like to be done with work
early,
walk away, go home. Yeah, I don't need to be there all night.
It was good when we were in our 20s for sure, where we were like,
because the night continued. Yes. Yeah, 10 o'clock was the new 2.
Patti was divorced. She was a single mom of a little girl, McKaylee, and Patti and her ex had a good relationship. From all accounts, from what I said, from all accounts, it seemed like they were very amicable amicable, which I think probably means that they shared custody nicely and they didn't really talk to each other. That's probably what that means.
Yeah.
Patti had one little flaw in her character, and that was that she was seeing a fellow employee who was married with children. It's not the best idea. This guy we are going to call Ryan Roses.
Okay.
You know, Ryan Roses? Ryan's Roses.
I know Ryan's Roses.
Okay. We're going to just call him that. That's going to be his name. Because what I have heard is this guy has lawyered up, and if people go around talking about him, he sues people, and we don't need any of that business. So we're not going to use his real name. But if you guys want to find out what this guy's real name is, it's not hard. You can look it up yourself. However, dude, I could not for like the life of me find a damn picture of this man. So I have no idea what he looks like. I just know his name, and it's not Ryan.
Okay.
But it might be close. Now, dating a married man is not ideal. It's not what we suggest. But Ryan had assured Patti that his marriage was pretty much over. He just needed to get through a couple things before he could officially be divorced. One of those things being this side business that he had. You remember on our last Patreon, we talked about like getting divorced and how it's not that easy, right? Because you have to go down to one income, and two incomes is better than one and whatnot. So I assume Patti was thinking she understood all this. She was divorced. And so she was just looking forward to the time that Ryan finalized everything so they could move forward in life and the two of them would live happily ever after. Ryan even talked about having more kids with Patti. Mind you, she was only 29, and with one kid, so she probably wanted more kids. Patti was pretty upfront about her affair with her family. I think she told her sister, she told one other of her girlfriends, and a coworker. Other than that, she didn't go around talking about having an affair with a married man. She was pretty tight-lipped. No one in her family thought this was a great idea, but they also thought, you know what? She's a grown-ass woman, so she can make her own decisions, and they kind of let her be. One thing she did...
I kind of like that way of thinking. I
do?
think you should leave it so that people can... No, I just want to have the relationship with people where they are free to tell me what they're doing, even if I don't agree with it. I want you to know you can tell me.
Yeah. And
right?
I think that is kind of what...
Because you're going to do what you're going to do no matter what you're going to do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Especially at 29 still. I think there's still some
at 29, it's like, it can't stop
and...
you. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So one thing she did confide in with her sister was that Patti was loaning Ryan a lot of money.
Ooh, I might tell you not to do that.
Yeah, no. She was helping him pretty much get out of his marriage. And mostly what Ryan told her was that it was for the business that he had. I think he was trying to buy out the partner of the business, which happened to be his brother-in-law. Or so that's what he said to Patti. Patti took money from her savings, from her credit cards. She even drew a loan from her 401k and sold stock in Honda just to give this guy some cash. But love will make you do crazy shit.
Oh, she had on some dick goggles or something. That is
I
like,
don't know.
That's too much. That's too much.
This is true. It is too much.
Love don't cost a thing.
Until it does. So I was thinking that maybe she thought, or he was telling her, don't worry, because we're going to be together. We're going to be married, and this business is going to be yours too one day. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking. Yeah. So for about a year, Patti allegedly gave a total of $90,000 in cash to Ryan. Ryan didn't want any kind of paper trail because he didn't want his wife finding out that Patti was giving him money. So he just wanted the dollar bills.
Okay.
And that's what she gave him. But the 401k, it's a loan. And so you have to pay that back. So the payment was due in July, starting in July of 2001. Patti owed money on this loan for her 401k. And Ryan assured her, don't worry, babe, I gotcha. I'm going to start paying that back in July. No problem. Well, just before July rolled around on June 29th, to be exact, was the start of the 4th of July weekend at Honda. Honda had its last shift before its holiday shutdown. They closed shop for a whole week, Gretchy, on 4th of July. It's like everybody gets vacation. Is that amazing?
Okay, call me stupid, but I did not... Honda's an American-made car, right?
No, it's not, but there's a Honda plant. I even looked it up, okay? So, it is there.
Okay.
I'm not.
I thought that's why they ran so well.
Because they're made in Japan or
Other
something.
places
I don't
that
know.
are making shit. Yeah. Okay.
No, they're not American made, but I guess maybe they assemble them. I don't know. Don't ask me. I know
Oh, you're right. I'm sure it's an assembly. Yeah.
it's there. Trust me. 4,200 people work there.
I believe you. I believe
probably
it.
all tell us. Okay. So anyways, they're going on vacation. Ryan told Patti that he wanted to take her on a remote vacation in the woods of Canada. Just the two of them. It sounded to Patti like a real good time. A getaway. No kids, no work, no stress. Ryan told Patti, get a babysitter for your kiddo. Romance. It's romance. I don't know. I'm not really into the remote areas of any place, by the way.
Oh, shit. Yeah, I know you're not. Yeah.
I'm not really a camper. You know what I mean?
Not really a camper. She likes pretty places with lots of trees as long as there is it's the kind of place like Aspen where there's like
there's a lot
private
there.
planes land there. Yeah.
Even better.
There's a Chanel store somewhere in the town. Yeah. I didn't say you shopped there. I just say that's how you like your pretty places.
That's true. Okay.
Yeah.
That's true. Okay. So he says, we're going to this place. Just me and you, baby. We don't need anything. Don't even pack a bag, girl, because I gotcha. We're going to buy everything on the way. And also tell your family there's no cell service. And I don't even think there's any service of any kind. So don't be alarmed when you don't call them for a week. So before her shift on the 29th, she had her ex-husband take her little girl for the first half of the week. And then her sister Marcia was going to take her child for the second half of the 4th of July week. And she didn't do a whole lot of packing, but I don't know what woman would go on vacation with like absolutely nothing. So she did pack a small duffel bag that was confirmed by a friend at work. She said she put some lingerie in there that she had just purchased. She also boarded her animals right before she went to work. 2 cats, I think, and maybe a dog, but I know cats were involved. Ryan told her to carpool to work so she didn't have to leave her car there. And so she went with a friend, and this is the one that I told you about, the duffel bag. And then he said, clock out real quick, run to my truck, get in the bed of it, and wait. Ryan had also carpooled to work that day with another coworker, and he didn't want this particular guy seeing Patti. He had to take this guy home before Patti could hop into the cab and they could go off on their week-long getaway. Ryan didn't usually take his truck to work, but because they had devised this plan, it seemed to be the best option. Plus, I think he said his car was in the shop that day. And then just 3 days before the 29th, he had purchased on the 26th a tonneau cover for his truck, which would make a perfect hiding place for Patti. Do you know what a tonneau cover is?
What do you mean? Like the flat thing? You're not like a camper shell?
It's not a camper shell. It's like that flat thing that goes over. Like Chris Bryson used to have one when he would like put his surfboards in his truck and like it would lock.
Yeah, my husband has one of those on his truck.
Yeah. Okay. So now they kind of roll. Does your husband have one that rolls, or does it like up and down?
Oh, no, it like rolls.
Yeah, those are the new kind. In 2001 is kind of when I know about it. I think it goes up and down at that point. But anyways, they're pretty expensive. They go on trucks so that they can like lock stuff in there and people can't steal the stuff. He had just bought one for his truck and installed it that day. So it would make an easy hiding place for Patti before she could get out and then like sit in the regular part of the truck with him. So
okay, let me just intercede for just 1 second.
Yes.
There is no way I am going somewhere where I can't have cell phone contact with my child for a week, for one. I'm just telling you. Clearly she is mesmerized by the dick. Also, just packing lingerie. It's because he is like married and it's still hot.
I know.
Because no mama in her right mind is signing up for this. Like, I'm going in the woods with the no cell phone contact. I mean, not even me, and I'm a camper. No way.
I know.
No.
I know. No. Agree with you. And I'm also not getting in the back of your truck. I think actually, like, I might have at one point in my life, but not now. I'd be like, yeah, like, dude, tell your bro to find 41.99 people to like go get a ride from, not me. I'm not taking you home, buddy. Like, get in my car. You can hide on the floorboard, but in the back back of my
Yeah,
car.
but she's not thinking clearly. Her brain is clouded.
I know. It's unfortunate. It really is. So just
Okay.
after midnight, like I said, Patti clocks out of work, and that would be the last time that anybody would see Patti Adkins again. After a week went by and Patti failed to show up to get her daughter from Marcia's home, Marcia obviously started getting worried. She hadn't heard from her sister all week, but like I said, Patti told her that may be the case. She said she was going to try to call on the road, but she didn't know if it would happen. And so although that was unsettling to Marcia, she didn't really worry about it. But when the afternoon rolled around and no Patti, Marcia decided to call Ryan's home. She acted like a customer to a side hustle, and Ryan's wife answered the phone and said Ryan wasn't home, but he was expected home shortly. Marcia then called back a couple hours later when her sister still was not showing up, and Ryan answered. Marcia immediately says, "Where's Patti?" And Ryan acts like he doesn't even know her. He finally was like, "Oh, you mean my coworker? Why would I know where she is?" And Marcia was like, "What did you do with my sister?" He basically says, "I have no idea what you're talking about," and he hangs up the phone. Marcia had like a sinking pit in her stomach because she knew that he knew exactly where she was and exactly what she was talking about. Marcia immediately called the police to file a missing persons report, and then, like a good sister, Marcia wasn't going to wait around for the police, so she calls back Ryan's house later, like late, because she wanted answers. And she was also going to tell his wife everything that she knew. So
100.
Yeah, she gets both of them on the phone, and Ryan, of course, denies. And Ryan's wife's like, "It's impossible. Ryan's home after work. I know it. He just got home at 2:30 in the morning that morning. There's no time for him to have an affair. He has 2 jobs." She said he was home all week. He did not go anywhere. There was no remote vacation. He did projects all week around the house, even laying a cement slab in their backyard.
That's impressive.
Only
and
one
sus.
and sus. Only one day was he gone in that whole week, and that was to go fishing. Marcia was getting nowhere with these two, and if anything, she may have given them too much information, as Ryan got a little clever, and from what Marcia feels is he started asking her what exactly she knew about him, because Ryan thought that nobody knew about him.
Yeah, I was thinking that.
Yeah. And so he was like, "Oh, your sister knows about me. What do you know about me? Because
That's
now
a
I need to know."
problem. Yeah.
So for the police, they first head over to Patty's home to see if they can find anything out of the ordinary, and nothing is amiss. So they go to interview Ryan. Ryan says he knows Patti, but there's no affair. It's just some girl at work that, out of all of them, he knows who she is. He says he has no idea what they're talking about. He got off at midnight, drove to Burger King that night with his coworker, carpool guy, and then he got home at 2:30. The coworker did live in Kenton, so it was about 30 minutes away. And they questioned, like, okay, even if you had to go 30 minutes to drop your buddy off, which, by the way, is also sus, because, like, why would you carpool with somebody that lives 30 minutes from you, the opposite direction? That doesn't make sense. And he said, "Oh, it's because we were in Burger King and we waited 45 minutes for our food," which is also kind of sus. The wife confirms that he did arrive at 2:30 and says, like I said, there's no time for an affair. He works 2 jobs, blah, blah, blah. But guess what, girl? There's always time. There's always time. They question the coworker, who also says they did in fact go to Burger King, and he says he never saw Patti. The timing still is off with the 45 minutes to Burger King, which is fake news to me. The manager of Burger King also said absolutely not. There's no way that anybody would wait more than 15 minutes. And most likely they didn't even wait 15 minutes that night, because I think
I waited 30 minutes one time in a Mickey D's in Castaic. And it was a big deal.
Dude.
People were pissed.
Yeah. And by the way, this guy did less than
similar scenario. Yeah.
This guy did less than, I think, $20 in that whole hour. So they're not waiting 45 minutes for anything.
It's not in and out. Okay. They don't have the same situation.
You don't.
Taken forever.
No. And even at 45 minutes plus a 30-minute drive, it doesn't add up. There is 2.5 hours to account for here. Where were you? The police then come back and they search Brian's house, where they do find a couple pieces of key evidence. They find a birthday card that Patti gave to Brian. They find a love letter that Patti wrote to Brian. And they find a random phone that supposedly Patti bought for him, and a Hard Rock Cafe shirt that Patti's sister claims Patti bought for Ryan when her and her sister went to Florida, and they went to Hard Rock, and it was like a Florida Hard Rock Cafe shirt. And then at Ryan's
But okay.
I know. Then at Ryan's automotive shop, which was his side business, they found that tonneau cover, and he had already taken it off of his car, by the way. He took it off on July 6th, supposedly.
Ooh.
And on this cover, they found cat hair and a small trace of blood. The police tested the cat hair and determined that it was actually the hair of Patti's cats. The trace of blood was so small that they didn't test it at the time. In 2001, the testing was not that advanced, and they thought they should wait to test it, which I think was smart because I don't know what it would be like at this point, but at the time they were like, if we test it, one, we don't even know if we would get any results. And two, we think that there will be advancements in the test where if we wait on it, maybe we could get something that wouldn't.
They might not have anything left to test.
Yeah,
sure.
They also brought in cadaver dogs, and one picked up on that cement that was laid by Ryan that week. Unfortunately, Patti was not under the slab. But this reminds me so much of Kristen Smart, the Kristen Smart case, because remember, this guy also laid a slab of cement and like hid stuff under there. And then we think that he dug that slab up and then moved her body or whatever. But I'm not sure that he used the cement. I have a feeling that either tools that he used in the cement laying were the same tools he used for for Patti's disappearance, or he used that cement also when he went fishing and did kind of like a Scott Peterson thing.
Okay. That's okay. That's not true, first of all. But I am thinking he used the cement and then he had some left over and had to have an excuse for having cement. And
yes, that's what I think.
He's a guy. Yeah. And so he's just making the most out of, it's like you got a little leftover salad the second night after you made something with bell peppers or whatever. You got to use it all up.
Right.
If you're resourceful.
Yes. If you're resourceful. If you're you, I would just toss it.
That's definitely the difference between you and me.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Okay. So also this lake trip, I don't think they said they searched like areas, but I don't think they like really did much in that lake, which I would say would have probably been a good thing to get out there and really go look in that lake for her like right away. Ryan also agreed to a polygraph test, which he took, and it came up that he was being deceptive. But as we know, like those things don't hold up in court. So even though I think it gives us a little something, it's not enough to convict him or even arrest him. So even though they had all this circumstantial evidence, there was no Patti and there was no body. And so this case just went cold. But in my mind, it's not cold. We know exactly what happened. Sure, we need a jury to convict Anne. Ryan Roses is innocent until proven guilty. And all of the stuff that I just told you is all alleged and it's all hearsay. I don't really know any of it. It's just what I have read. But when I think about it, we got Kristen Smart's killer with less evidence than this, in my opinion. I know some people feel that the police messed up a little. I think, there could be some further investigation that needs to happen. They could have done a lot more at the time. I think they did miss some things. I've heard through the grapevine that Ryan is still married and his wife has claimed that Patti was a stalker. She's not a super fan of hers. I do think it would be really hard to think that your husband murdered somebody or was capable of it. But I have these other feelings, like maybe this whole affair was more of an emotional affair and it was a ploy to steal money and maybe the wife was in on it. Totally hypothetical.
That's totally hypothetical. Whether it was or it wasn't, he manipulated, let's say it's true. He manipulated her to get the money. So he was never in it. So, it's kind of like Dirty John. It's one of those situations where he's just saying everything. If his motivation is to get her money and he knows how it's going to end, he is going to make her smoothies in the morning. He's going to say everything that she wants to hear. That's why she was so willing to go without cell phone communication with her child and just bring lingerie. She probably didn't even have bug
This
spray.
is true. That is why also she would keep giving it to him because he's like, I'm going to marry you and my marriage is over. And
Yeah,
I don't
everything she
even
wants to hear.
he's probably like, I sleep on the couch every night. Like I have had friends in relationships where they were with a married man and all of this stuff was said too. And
well, look at and so if he's that kind of narcissist, whatever you want to call it, then he's pulling that same stuff on his wife.
yeah, if she's not in it, if she's like not involved at all, or I don't know. I mean, at this point, I feel like he has had to have told her the truth. I think she's got to be in on it now.
Some people don't want to hear it.
Yeah,
like
that's
ever.
true. Yeah. Also,
I don't know. In the case of this is something I actually didn't bring up last week, but in the case of that Ira Einhorn case that we did, the woman who turned him, kind of led Interpol to finding his wife. He was living in France with Annika or whatever. She was his friend and she read a book that I read too, and it's really boring. Okay, I don't recommend. But she read this book about him and she changed her mind. But it took her like 12 years.
Yeah.
And the book
to
change her mind. And
yeah,
Holly's body was in his closet.
Oh my God.
In a trunk.
So crazy.
So, I mean, and this lady has no body. So, I mean, some people need a lot of convincing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I also think, like, what is it with this coworker? I think if I was the coworker, I'd be like, dude, bro, you're not going to drive me 30 minutes out of your way. Like, I wouldn't even take that ride. So maybe he stashed a little money to give to the coworker to help him offload her. I don't know. I mean, we don't know. Also, Ryan quit his job at Honda right shortly after this whole debacle because he says he was getting too much flack, which I mean, I would
can
think
imagine.
you would.
It could get a little awkward. People have a lot of questions.
Yes.
And so what is her family doing right now? Are they making the big push to get justice for their sister?
It's been a long time. 2001, it's 20 something years ago. So I think they were very much so. I'm sure they are. I think they probably also feel like totally defeated. But they still have that blood sample, I think. So I feel like now is the time to test it. It's now or never. Really. Yeah. Come on. It's been 22 years, exactly 22 years. So let's do it. Also, the family, I'm like, why don't you civilly sue this asshole? Like you could do that. They're scared of something, maybe. I don't know. They could. But the fact that this guy's name has never been released publicly is interesting to me. Like on all the shows, all the podcasts, nobody says his name. There's one podcast that does say it. So I was like, if they don't say it, I shouldn't say it either.
Well, obviously it's unfortunate that she is no longer with us. I mean, could not be more tragic.
Yeah, they declared her
left
dead
a
already.
Motherless child. Yeah. But what also sucks is some douchebag taking your money. And speaking from experience, I did not pursue the douchebag that took a lot of money from me.
Yeah, you did.
But since then, I have watched a lot of Judge Judy. And let me tell you, first of all, put everything in writing. But even if you don't, you need to go and try and get your money back because those assholes get their tongue tied when they are in front of a judge. And if you have proof that you took out the withdrawal, you can go in front of a judge and say, listen, this was not a gift. I made it very clear. We had a verbal agreement.
So there's
try and get it back.
There's no evidence that he ever collected the money. It's just from what Patti had told her sister and her friends.
But I'm sure there's a bank. She took out, if she took money out of her 401k, then there's the withdrawal.
All of those withdrawals are shown, but there is no money going into his account. So whatever he did with the cash, he paid cash. The other thing is I do still think there is a lot of evidence.
Would get him to admit that he had the fucking money. I'm telling you, Judy's where it's at.
There is things tying him to her, like the cat hair. Like, how did you just put that tonneau cover on your truck? You don't even supposedly know Patti, but her cat hair is in the truck cover that you said she wasn't in. Like, how would that happen? That is not just going to happen by luck of the draw of you and Patti walked out at the same time and her cat hair flew off of her shirt and into your truck bed. Not happening.
Right.
Also, you don't use those tonneau covers for 5 days or 6 days. Those things are over $1,000.
Yeah.
So I think all this evidence is evidence. It's circumstantial evidence. I mean, but there's some reason the DA does not feel like it's going to get a conviction, but I think that it could. After this Paul Michelle Flores got convicted of murder. You guys, I think having her cat hair in your truck, having blood on your truck, knowing that you were going on this supposed trip and never actually making it there. I don't know. It's to me seems like
it's really surprising that they didn't civilly sue him, because then they could have deposed him.
Yes, right? They should do that. They should just to get some real answers. So there is a $25,000 reward for any information leading to solving, finding, getting somebody information to this case. So I think now is the time. And I think also if you're involved in this in like a very slight way, maybe you should come forward and ask for immunity to give your story. It's a good time to do that too before they start putting your ass in jail. Just a little advice. Okay. And like I said, this is all from articles that I've read online. All this stuff is just from news articles because we don't have any court records yet because nobody's been arrested or convicted. So Ryan he's innocent until proven guilty. So I just want to make that very clear that it's all hypothetical here. And if you know anything, please contact Crime Stoppers in Ohio. Their number is 614-461-TIPS, TIPS on your phone. And that's it, Gretchy, for today.
Okay, that's a whop. Okay.
So that's a whop. Hopefully you guys are having a great week. And if you have not checked out our patreon.com/Housewives of True Crime. And also if you listen on Apple, you could just push subscribe on that Clink Clink Club. Gretchen's going to fall asleep and it's 2 hours later for me, girl. And I have a 7 a.m. flight.
I went to SeaWorld on the 5th of July. After taking the dog to the vet and camp.
Okay. All right. And then follow us on all of the socials. If you haven't checked out our YouTube, please do so and give us a like and subscribe. Thanks, guys. Clink, clink.